how affiliate program management will change in 2021.
Hi, and welcome to the Affiliate Program Management panel, where we're going to be talking to some of the industry's most experienced people. I'll just give them a quick intro, if we can start with Serafina.
Hi, my name is Serafina, and I'm the Vice President of Strategy at Income Access PaySafe.
Thank you. And Etian, because you're right next to her on my screen.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Etian. I'm the Director of Acquisition in Betsson and a proud father and husband for Tal.
Amazing. And Martin Calvert.
Hi everybody, I'm Martin Calvert. I'm the Marketing Director at ICS-digital and ICS-Translate.
So today we're going to be talking about affiliate program management change, and I'd like to start the conversation off with this question to allow each of you to give your input around this point. What are the key things that you think are going to change in 2021 when it comes to affiliate program management? And I'll start with ladies first. Serafina.
Well, that's quite a loaded question, but I would say probably the way affiliates are marketing seems to be a big change that we're noticing. You see a lot more now interactive marketing, be it through videos, YouTube channels, or there's a lot of like social media influencers. People are trying to build an audience and not just build traffic sources. So that's quite a big trend, and I think it's just going to keep increasing in that direction, where the affiliates are starting to have a little bit more control on having a relationship with an audience rather than just being a channel to funnel traffic back and forth.
Now, Martin, I wanted to come to you next because I know you've got quite really good experience in traffic and building traffic for lots of different brands. So what do you think is going to be changing?
Yeah, so I mean, I think Serafina's right. I think people want to be seen as more than just a traffic source, and also it's, I guess, to build that traffic in the first place, you have to think beyond just a narrow field. So building a brand, I think, becoming more professional, I think bringing on some of these new types of channels, I think is something that people are passionate about, and there's push factors and pull factors. The push factor being you need to do it in order to get the traffic. The pull factor might be we want to be brands now. We want to have more of an impact, more of a footprint, and stand alongside the operator partners more.
Great. And Etian, from your perspective on the operator side, what do you think is going to be changing in 2021?
No, I think definitely I echo my colleagues here, and I think that value is part of the big things that happens. If it's via interactive, if it's part of being a brand, everybody wants to be as gamblers, right? To provide real value. And I think it comes across not just the branding part, but to provide something to the users, make them more sticky, convert easier. I've seen some innovation with affiliates that are trying to take conversion on their end, right? Because conversion is better if you know the clients, if you're first touch. So brands, trust, innovation, that's the areas where I see really kind of affiliate companies that are growing, really taking it there. That's impressive, by the way, to see some companies do that.
Yeah, totally agree. And one of the things that I'd want to add to that from an agency perspective is just the fact that affiliate marketing is becoming more than just relationships and customer service. I think it's becoming, quite a serious digital medium that requires, compliance and legal understanding of different regulatory frameworks. So I think it's becoming a much more serious marketing function as well. And I think that we're going to see that become more prevalent through 2021. So our next question is really just to talk about traffic and technology, and about how you guys think changes in these channels are going to move us forward to equip brands to better manage their affiliate relationships, because programs scale very quickly, and having the right tools in place to actually manage that scale across global jurisdictions is obviously very important. So Serafina, I'm going to go to you first, because you're obviously from one of the biggest technology companies in the affiliate space. How do you think that's going to change?
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nail. It's just being able to, from a tracking perspective, you need to be able to track omni-channel tracking, whether it's in an offline environment, a mobile device, desktop, that, you have to be able to allow for that. But I also find that there's a lot of server to server and API requirements these days, even from affiliates. They want that level of, control rather than just relying on somebody else's third party. So there's quite a lot of push towards having more control. And then from a reporting perspective, it's really, you know, I haven't seen too much change in that field for the last, you know, the trend, I should say, in the last 16 years, where there's always been a requirement to know more about the traffic, to analyze more, to have more depth. And it's a two-edged sword, you know. Sometimes there's some of our clients who don't want to give too much data, and then there are others who are very comfortable to share a lot of the data. So our advice is always, you know, share enough to allow your affiliates to be productive, but make sure that you can let the affiliate be a partner and analyze the traffic that they're sending you. So being able to analyze down to the creative source, the referrals coming through is really important.
Okay. And Martin, I see you shaking your head there in terms of the traffic and the technology. How does that impact from your perspective, working with both operators and affiliates?
Yeah, I think it's more a case that affiliates are looking for partners that they can trust, obviously. I think in some cases, in some jurisdictions, affiliates have been burned. But I think they want some of that, you know, trust from the operator partner, and also to apply that data in a way that, you know, benefits the marketing strategy, benefits the traffic strategy. And it's just about getting that relationship in place. I think the more affiliates can build their brand and build the sources of traffic coming to them, the more leverage they've got to talk to operators and say, look, we're bringing a lot to the table. We want you to be more forthcoming with us. If they don't bring anything to the table that's different or special, then, you know, very busy people at operator side are not going to be bending over backwards or making allowances or looking into the, you know, the legalities of sharing data or whatever. You know, so I think if you want that kind of granular insight, you've got to be, you know, really, really strong and maybe not Ask Gamblers level, but you've got to have something really substantial. And I think that's kind of what it comes down to. This.
Now, Etian, you spoke a little. Yeah, absolutely. You spoke a little bit about this on our kind of pre-call, and I want to kind of bring it up from an operator perspective to mirror what Martin and Sarafina have said in terms of making sure that, you know, your affiliates are targeting traffic sources that you aren't maybe going after yourselves, or looking at how that marketing infrastructure fits alongside affiliate partnerships. Can you talk a little bit about, you know, your struggles from an operator perspective and how technology can help you to manage all of these things, especially with the big team that you guys have?
I mean, affiliates is part of our media strategy at the end of the day. It's another acquisition channel, although a big one for us, but it needs to play ball with our overall kind of marketing strategy, all right? Because the way we look on affiliate sites, the reputation we have, we want to see brand consistency. We want to see the affiliates using the latest assets in the brand name properly. And we really would not like to see our you know, affiliate links or landing pages or banners in places where we don't want to be it porn sites or be it sites that we do not allow. And then it becomes a bit trickier to scale this. Now, the tracking and tagging, vital for this. And what happens usually with affiliates is that although maybe the relationship would be good, but when there is inconsistencies in data, there is a lot of mistrust. Now, this does not always happen on purpose. It never happens on purpose, okay? We have in a business to be transparent, to be trusted. But looking today at the affiliates, and I used to work for a big affiliate myself, I think that the standardization approach is really good. Some bigger affiliates are kind of doing a collective around it, and I think it's a really good approach to do that. I think we as an operator want to provide the best source of data in the fastest time possible, but that's not always an option due to the complexities of big organizations. But it's usually down to a conversation, usually down to understanding. If you look at the, let's say, the PPC affiliates, they will need data much faster than an SEO affiliate, right? And they need the consistency of that data because their business depends on it. So we believe where APIs can be used, by all means, if we can do a secure API with an affiliate, we will go for it. But the technology needs to be consistent. We need to see investment from the affiliate side in order for us to bring in some dev resources into it. So it's mainly for the big networks that are able to integrate properly and have the dev resources to do that.
Now, we spoke a little bit about, you know, the big networks and how operators are kind of looking to obviously diversify out of just working with the bigger affiliates in order to protect their, lines of revenue. We've seen in the past, Excel Media, some of their sites had SEO, penalties that happened, which impacted traffic on some of their sites. But obviously, they're big enough to make all of that back. But what are your thoughts, guys, on keeping affiliate programs big, or actually looking at alternative ways to work with smaller or micro publishers? That was one of the things that we had discussed. So I'm going to open up to you, Etian, again, and then we can move on to Serafina from a technical perspective.
I think, listen, networks, before they become networks, they're smaller affiliates, right? And then they start buying each other. So they grow. In that case, if the tech sustainability and the backbone is strong enough, then they grow organically. If not, they stay a lot of small affiliates. I believe there needs to be a mix here, okay? So with the local affiliates, we work closer, probably usually more on sportsbook deals. They know the market, they know really what kind of clients to target. When it comes to casino, you can go a little bit broader. It's very similar from market to market. I believe in a mix overall, but I do believe in the power of networks to be supervised better, to easier control what kind of media they're showing and where, and the ability to generate a larger relationship with larger revenues. With saying that, we also want to promote the smaller affiliates. We take smaller affiliates, we work with them, we kind of mature and nurture them to become bigger. So it's a partnership, and it depends. It depends on the source of traffic also. SEO, less of a stable source of traffic, used to be a very good source of traffic. We were looking for affiliates that also diversify.
Okay, so Serafina, from a technical perspective, how is technology going to allow operators to scale and work with those smaller publishers without being impacted on, regulation and compliance and things like that?
Well, a lot of it is like what Ethan said is, we all know in affiliate marketing, you're working with an 80-20 rule where, 20% of your affiliates are going to refer 80% of your acquisitions or revenue. I think one of the ways is, I think you need both. It's like Ethan said, the guys who are big today, I remember Ask Gamblers meeting them when they were just a startup. You don't know when your next big partner is going to come. So you need both. You shouldn't discriminate. At the end of the day, you want quality, whether that quality comes, 5, 10 FTDs a month or 50, 100 FTDs a month, it's still quality. So I think, it being flexible to have those real-time tracking for those who are advanced enough to implement it is important. And then just having a reliable, steady product for just, the average lay person who's just, not very tech savvy, but wants to join this and wants to be in the race, you need to be able to accommodate. We also see social media is another big one, because the tracking and the reporting needs for that is a little bit different than, your web traffic. And same with mobile and SMS traffic. So depending on what markets one is working with, if you look at Africa, it's heavily SMS marketing. So being able to track that channel becomes very important. Compliance, I think you touched upon it. It's the way we're moving more and more so. We have already seen quite heavily of it in the States, but it's okay. It's not a bottleneck, It's not a barrier that will stop. It's just another element that one has to factor for managing their affiliate programs. But obviously, in terms of advertising and penalties, that you need to monitor. You can no longer afford to just have idle affiliates in your program anymore, because if they've got outdated campaigns or promotions, then that obviously has an implication on the negative side.
And that also feeds into the sort of training of affiliate managers, which is an area that I'm, really passionate about. It's making sure that your front line is actually operating compliantly, that they know what the rules are, that they know how to apply the rules, and that they can actually help educate the smaller affiliates who don't have big, compliance teams in their business. They're focused on driving traffic. Now, Martin, you obviously deal with a lot of different people from the ecosystem. So what are your thoughts on the different types of traffic that are being sort of chased by affiliates now in order to drive volume? We've got Twitch streamers, we've got all of that stuff. What's your viewpoint on that?
Yeah, I think it's really an interesting time for the industry with all these multiple different types of sources of traffic. I think there'll always be some who stick to their niche and are very good at it, and that's no bad thing. If they can keep it going, great. As Etian kind of alluded, some operators might be a bit concerned about the risk of that. If something goes wrong, if they take a dip, or if PPC becomes, enormously more expensive as it has a habit of doing, but you've got to run your own race.
Okay.
So I think, working at an agency, I think it's much more interesting than, I don't know, say 10, 15 years ago when people were all doing much the same thing and, doing quite well. But I think now there's more interest in kind of channels, brand-led channels, looking at mobile, looking at paid media, looking at native ads. There's a whole range of things that people can be doing, but they've got to do it responsibly in order to maintain that trust factor.
So we've got 3 minutes left on this panel, which has gone by incredibly quick, and you've shared so much insight. My last question to you, just to close off in 3 minutes, is tell us what you think the key markets are going to be for 2021. It's always an interesting one. So I'll start with Serafina and then go to Etian and then to Martin.
I say the US, Africa, Latin America. Sorry, guys, if I've taken it all, but that's where I'm putting my money.
Okay. Etian, what about for you guys?
Before I just say it, once if you wanted to start an affiliate company, it would be 3 guys in a garage, right? Today it's 3 guys plus a lawyer in a garage.
So true.
But definitely US going massive. Let's see what's happened after this election. If it's still gonna grow, Trump was a supporter. Africa massive, Latin America massive. There is another 150 countries there. Everybody's gambling in those 150 countries. So wherever you put the needle, there will be a gambler. So it's all open for grabs.
Martin,
Yeah, I mean, I would echo that. I think it depends on your passion, but I mean, anyone who sees the type of content we're putting out at ICS, like we're so focused on LATAM at the moment because it's just so many opportunities, particularly for sportsbooks, obviously, but beyond that, there's a whole range of opportunities. But we're everywhere.
I'm going to put my ring in and I'm going to say India and Asia. I think that market's about to explode. So Africa and India.
I was going to say India as well, so you got it.
So I think we're all on the same page, which is great. So, this has been an Alpha Affiliate panel. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this. From my perspective, I think you won't get a better lineup of people to talk about the future of affiliate marketing. So thank you very much for joining us and for being here on this call and for being at SiGMA. And it was a pleasure to speak to you guys and hear your thoughts for 2021.